Yvonne King and Odelle Pike traveled to Winnipeg on February 26th for a weekend-long conference about missing and murdered Indigenous women. King, whose daughter was murdered in August of 2011, says that the conference was a welcoming experience.
The conference was beautiful. I felt really welcome there. It was very emotional. It was overwhelming. Yeah, and I met a lot of friendly people. A lot of people. They were very nice. A lot of them had worse than I did. They lost loved ones just like I did, but some were worse off than me.
Pike says that when she received the call asking for families to participate in the conference, it took her no time to think of who she would bring.
Yeah, the first conference we went to was the pre-inquiry in Halifax. And we got a call from Indigenous Affairs. It's Northern Aboriginal Affairs, but they have their names changed. So they wanted to know if we knew of any family members who had loved ones murdered, and without even thinking, I had 5 names. So out of those names, 4 of the people came up with us to Halifax to the first pre-inquiry. And then we were invited to the Congress of Aboriginal People had a session in Ottawa, and that session was to do a paper on the murdered, what they felt was needed for the inquiry. And then we were invited then to go to Winnipeg to the round table, which we went to last week.
King says that the people at the conference really made the experience emotionally charged.
And when I was up there in Winnipeg, oh my God, it was heartbreaking. But the people was so nice. It was overwhelming. And they just wrapped this blanket around me and everything. It was just, was awesome, put it that way. It was really a nice feeling.
It was a healing sort of.
It was.
Pike says that the conference was a 3-day event which saw close to 200 families in attendance.
Well, first of all, it was a 3-day event. The first day on Wednesday was just for families who had loved ones lost. And there were probably close to 200 families there. It was a very emotional and trying day because we listened to all of the horrific stories that happened to these women. On the second day, which was Thursday, we had the families there, but in addition to the families, we had members from the ministers. A lot of the ministers were there from the 10 provinces. And the Aboriginal organizations like CAP and the Native Women's Association and the Assembly of First Nations, they were there at the meeting also. And then on the third day, which was Friday, was the actual round table.
King says she remembers the last time she spoke with her daughter Carol on the day she went missing.
August the 6th. I was talking to her 3 times that day, and her cousin Felicia was getting married. And she said, "Mom, take lots of pictures because I want to see them." I said, "Yeah." I said, "I'll take lots of pictures." The last time I was speaking to her was around 5:30 our time, which was about 1 or 2 o'clock up there. And I haven't spoken to her ever since.
Pike says she remembers people that she has lost through similar circumstances as King's daughter Carol.
One of the ladies that was murdered in Stephenville, Ann Lucas, was a friend of mine. I went to school with her actually. And Janet Odelle, the lady that you see there on her blanket, she's a distant cousin of mine also.
King says that her daughter was full of life and that justice was lacking in the response that her daughter received from law enforcement at the time.
Yeah, she was very energetic, my daughter. She loved life. You would not believe how much she loved life. Yeah, I miss her a lot. Yeah, I don't know what else to say, but I know that the police was wrong, what they did. They didn't do justice for her. She was crying for help, and they did not do anything for her.
Pike says that she has been working in violence prevention since 2008.
Well, I really feel that we need, like there was a lot of issues with the RCMP and the policing. You know, we have it in our own area. We see it with our women that we deal with, because I've been working in violence prevention now since 2008. And even with the women who report, they're victimized again. And that has to stop. And there's a lot of women not coming forward for that same reason, that they're victimized again. And we just have to do better training with our police force. There's lots of good things that we can start doing, but we also need the funding to do that. And that's where the government comes in. They have to react. They have to start putting money in those programs. And, you know, there's a lot of grassroots people that are doing good work, but funding is always a problem.
That was Odelle Pike and Yvonne King, both speaking about the conference they attended for the Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women's Inquiry. To hear more about Yvonne's or Odell's story, please check out the extended cut on the Troubadour YouTube channel. A link to the extended edition will be posted in the description of the live feed. I'm Nathan Barnes, 30 at 30 News.